Hey folks, Country Prepper here with a top 10 list. This is a top 10 list of wilderness survival tools for those on a tight budget like me. I have to emphasize this is a tools list, not just items. I know there are a lot of other things for survival that are more important than some of the things on this list, but I just wanted to make that clear before I start. So let's go ahead and jump in. These are in descending order of my opinion of their importance. So number 10 is flashlight. You know, any kind of flashlight. It's at the bottom of the list because you can survive without it. You know, people lived without them for years, but we all know how handy they are and how inconvenient it is if you don't have one. So that's why it's on the list. Number 9, a compact shovel. And this is something I don't have yet. I plan to order one just as soon as possible, but it's a very handy tool to have. It has a bunch of uses, but you can't get along without it, and that's why it's second to the bottom of the list. So number 8 is duct tape. There's so many uses for duct tape that I'm just going to put a link in the description to a video on one of my favorite channels for you to watch if you haven't already seen it. But it's a pretty good video. There's a ton of uses he lists for duct tape. So next is number 7, pair of pliers. Just a regular pair of pliers. Most people would say you need a multi-tool, but this list is for those on a tight budget, and a good multi-tool is not cheap. That's why pliers are on the list instead. Pliers that are, they're part of the multi-tool that gets used the most, I think. So why not spend, 10-15 bucks on a good pair of pliers instead of 70 or more on a good multi-tool. Preferably, I'm kind of saving up to get a Leatherman Wave or something like that, and I know those are 70 or 80 bucks. So for right now, pliers are going to have to do. Next is number 6, paracord. I've said this in plenty of other videos. You can never have enough paracord. Why is it so low on the list? You can get by without it, but I don't recommend it. In a pinch, you can actually strip sapling trees, and you could braid them together, or you could find vines and make cordage out of that. People did that for centuries too, and so you can if that's your only choice. But paracord has hundreds of uses, and that's obviously why it's on the list. Number 5 is a hatchet. Just a regular camping hatchet will do. This is just a Coleman. You get it at Walmart. They're not very expensive. I'm pretty sure they're under 20 bucks. And I've used this for probably 10 years and never had an issue with it. So you don't always have to spend a ton of money to get decent stuff. And I know some people will say a knife can chop and split wood, if you baton the wood. But so why carry a hatchet? Well, while you can use a knife for a few things that a hatchet can do, you're better off carrying a hatchet. You'll use it more than you think. And why dull your knife to do a job that a hatchet is better suited for? I think it's worth carrying a little extra weight. And I mean, yeah, it probably seems like it weighs a lot, but when you're carrying it in a pack on your back, it's probably not going to be a big deal. I don't think anyway, but I'm a big guy. I can probably carry a lot. Anyhow, next, number 4, and that is a projectile weapon. I'm not going to show that. Everybody knows what a projectile weapon is, but unless you plan on foraging and fishing for all your food and protecting yourself with your knife, you're going to need at the very least a slingshot, probably a bow, and plenty of arrows. But personally, I'm going to carry guns. That's just, it's more convenient, easier. I'm more accurate with it. I am not a You know, I'm not very good at archery. I've been practicing, but I need a lot of work at it. So, and a slingshot, you know, you can even pick up a rock and hit something with it if you need to. Small game, but if you're gonna want something decent to eat, better have a good rifle. So, a bow actually might be more suitable choice for you know, under long-term circumstances. Sometimes you can retrieve your arrow and use it again, and if it comes down to it, you can make an arrow, but you can't make more bullets in the wild, so that's your trade-off. But most likely, if you're in a bad situation, it's not going to be for long-term, but you never know. So you kind of got to plan for all of it. So, you know, it's up to you. Next on the list, number 3, is a fire starter. Being able to start a fire it's essential to wilderness survival. For warmth, cooking, purifying water, deterring wildlife. That's the main reasons you need a fire. I'm sure there are plenty more reasons, but those are just off the top of my head. You need fire. Enough said. I would suggest carrying several ways to start a fire. When I'm out doing me and my stepson like to do survival trips, camp out deal we do over the weekend. We only take what we can carry in a backpack out to the woods, and it's a good little thing to practice to you know, figure out if you're missing anything, or you know, just to get a better plan and to hone your skills. But you know, I carry the Doan bar with the striker on it, and also carry this when I go. And you know, obviously people are probably going to carry a lighter, but we don't, just because we're trying to hone our skills. So that's all we carry for fire starters. Anyhow, number 2 is a knife. And this came in second for a reason. Even though when I first started the list, it was at number 1. You'll understand why when I get to number 1, how it ended up at number 2. But a knife is a very important tool. It has so many uses. I'm not even going to try to name them all right now. If you're watching this, you probably already know just how important a knife is in a survival situation anyway. So, you know, it's a must-have item. And I even recommend carrying more than one. But I would suggest, for somebody who doesn't know, get a fixed blade knife. You know, a lot of people carry a folding knife in their bug out bag, which is fine. The best knife, you know, your best survival knife is the one you have on you, and if that's the only one you have on you, it'll do. But I would definitely recommend something tougher. You know, I carry this when I'm hunting. When I go out on me and my stepson's survival trips, you know, I'll take this one, and then the one I got in the other day. I plan on taking this one on my next trip and just kind of see how it does, and hopefully I can get a video and show it. But that was that M-Tech knife that I did a review on. Now to number 1, and some people might not say this is a tool, but I think it is, because you're not going to survive without it. And for number 1 is knowledge and training. None of these tools will do you any good at all if you don't know how to use them and how to train with them. You should sharpen your skills more often than you sharpen a knife. And it's the one thing that will give you the best chance of surviving any bad situation, any emergency situation. Shit hits the fan, you're going to need to know how. And that's why it's at number 1. And so there is my top 10 list. Like I said, I'll leave a description at the bottom for the duct tape. I think there's even one for paracord uses on that same channel, and I'll leave the link to that if I find it. So there it is, my top 10 wilderness survival tools for people on a tight budget. Thanks for watching. See you next time.